I wanted to build a chief of staff that understands and is grounded in the knowledge base that I have. And so I went to Claude Code and I said, let me spin this up. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do there. So I'm on VS Code. Now, for those who are looking at this IDE for the first time, Explorer is the place where you can open up your folders. And for you to find um, Claude, just go into extensions and search for Claude Code for VS Code, and you'll find it. There'll be an install, just like how you see something else that I haven't installed. There'll be an install button that you'll have to click on, and that's it. It'll install, and then it'll ask you for your login and everything when you install it. So that way you're logged in and ready to go always. And it'll show up here um, as an icon that you can click, and it'll ask you whether it's a new session or existing session. I'll click on new session and you'll see how it makes it so much better now that I can just talk to it right here. Of course, I can open the terminal too, and I can see if I need to like run some commands. But right now, I can just talk to it right here in natural language. So here's my chief of staff template that I have written, where let's say I've just joined some company, I'm the senior director there. I want to build this personal agent that helps me navigate strategy, execution, people, politics. So the agent should learn from my meeting transcripts, and I use Granola for my meeting transcripts. So it should learn from my meeting transcripts. It should ingest documents like strategy docs, org charts, PRDs, emails, and build a knowledge base over time about people, dynamics, topics, company context. And so I said, this is my architecture overview of inputs. Here's my context and my agent. And I said, here's my documentation
And
pipeline.
Claude wrote this, right?
Yes, Claude wrote this. Yeah.
Cool.
I told it in natural language, like I want XYZ, here are all the things. And it kind of created this whole .md file that I could use now with Claude again to build it. So let's say I joined a company as whichever role, and I say I want to build a personal AI agent that helps me navigate my work, like my strategy, execution, people, and politics. So the agent should like learn from my meeting transcripts. I use Granola. You could use Zoom. You could use Team. You could use whatever you use for transcripts. You just have to like mention that here. Ingest documents and build a knowledge base over time about people, dynamics, topics, company context. And here's the architecture overview. Now I gave my use case to Claude and it wrote this up for me and put this architecture overview that I could use it, then give it back to Claude again to code it up. And so for part one, there's here's my document ingestion pipeline. So I have like strategy docs, what to extract, like I want to extract goals, priorities, metrics, timelines. And as PMs, we are so cross-functional. It's not just our docs. We read 50 docs in a week. So this is like really helpful for me to like just feed that in and it'll read it up. It will store it into a knowledge base, and I'll show you that in a second. Um, and it's really cool where the other day I was in a meeting. This person was showing me a few things, and after the meeting got over, and we record transcripts in Google Meet. And so when the transcript came through, my chief of staff reviewed it, and then it said, you know what, you should make this person your ally because this person is good at X, which you're trying to like get into. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. And then there was something else that I needed to convey to somebody. And my chief of staff said, hey, this is extremely sensitive. Have you thought about XYZ people that you have to inform first before you convey it to this person? And that's so thoughtful because now it understands my org, it understands who is doing what, it understands their personality. So it's like really powerful. It's like really I have this chief of staff that's telling me always what I need to do. So here are all the supported documents I wanted to ingest, and here's the document extraction prompt. So I'm saying you're helping me build a knowledge base about my workplace. I'll share a document, extract relevant information. And so I said for strategy or planning docs, extract this way. For orgs and org charts, extract these. For PRDs, extract this more. For emails or communication, extract these capabilities. So I have this for each of the ones that I need. And I said format the output in this way for it to store in my knowledge base. And here's the knowledge base structure. So it has its context KB, it has people, topics, meetings, documents, company, and my context, like what are my priorities, my OKRs, my preferences, notes, questions, insights like political landscape and patterns that it identifies or extracts. It can save it here, and these are like patterns observed over time. And you can add more as well, like to do, for example. It could be a running to do that your chief of staff could be maintaining for you. And here are the templates for the different types. So I said extract this um, for it to like save it into the knowledge base, any document that I give, extract the metadata, the summary, the key points, people involved, what's the relevance to me and my vertical, what are the action items, and some raw notes. And for people profile, again, extract these metadata, how they operate, the communication style, meeting behavior, what works or doesn't work, what they care about, what are their motivations. So, and what's the relationship to me? And then over time, keep reviewing the relationship quality, whether they're a strong ally, friendly, neutral, cautious, friction.
By the way, guys, if you want the exact information that Jyoti is sharing, you can get all of those in the GitHub link in description.
Organizational dynamics, the observation log, company strategy templates. So when you have your companies sharing you the strategy, saying, here's what we're going to do in 2026, here are the key things I wanted to extract, org structure template, and meeting transcript extraction. So when I give it a meeting transcript, what I needed to extract, the agent system prompt, and this is my prompt for the agent on you have access to my context KB. Your job is to help me ramp up fast, give me strategic advice grounded in context, help me prepare for meetings, coach me on people or politics, help me think through decisions, connect dots across documents and meetings, and keep me focused on my priorities. Again, style is like my style, what I like, don't sugarcoat politics. When I share a document, extract key information, update relevant KB sections. And so I've given it all of this information, right? So this is all about like what it needs to do.
I built a podcast guest prep agent in HyperAgent. The job is simple. Before every interview, give me the guest's recent appearances, strongest arguments, company context, sharp question angles, and the stuff I should avoid asking because everyone else has already asked. For this run, I pointed it at Howie Liu, CEO and founder of Airtable. The useful part is it can actually go do the research. It's browsed, pulled sources, worked across files and integrations, and then turned the whole thing into a brief I can use before I hit record. Here's the output: recent appearances, public arguments, company context, question angles, and what not to ask. This is the kind of prep doc I actually want, not a generic summary. It shows what they believe, where their thinking has changed, which questions are obvious, and where the thinking tension might be. Then I saved it as an agent. The output is useful, but the saved agent is the real goal. I don't have to rebuild the whole thing. I point the same agent at a new name, and it already knows the format I like, the sections I care about, and the kind of question framings I come back to. Podcast prep is one example. The bigger idea is recurring work becoming reusable agents. HyperAgent is built by the team behind Airtable, but it's a separate product. They're offering $1,000 in credits to their first 1,000 subscribers who use my link. Claim yours at hyperagent.com/product growth. I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.